Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game, and we are returning to the world of Victoria 3. We have just unified Germany in 1866, and we are now about to set off and reform our economy a little bit, solve all of the mess that has been left to us. In between episodes, I did do a couple of things, for example, cancelling some routes here, but nothing too important, really. The most important thing that I did since you last joined me is I did cancel the build order for the motor factories in Bavaria, actually, and I think we want to build that up down here in this region. And the reason is pretty simple. We do already have a motor industry established in Baden, so that is indeed what we're going to do. We're going to build that up to level 20 here, and I think that's going to be a pretty substantial help in reducing the imbalance here of engines. Engines are pretty expensive, so yeah, we want to get some of these guys going. In other news, we've got a power deficit, so we're currently producing 50 power. We do need at least 287, so that means there's a big actual power shortage right now. I think that should not take too long. I think we should see that these plants here in Brandenburg can hire at least a couple of people. So I would really like to see that and see whether we can do anything about that. Right. That being said, before I forget that, I should go to all of these states and start to incorporate them, because we really should get that going, and I'm not sure whether I can actually go into a deficit before that. I think we can. What would a deficit do? I think it would mean that we're going to receive less taxes, but that should not be too much of a problem now, should it? Yeah, let's actually check here what the... Yeah, it's a tax waste issue. I think that's gonna be okay, because mostly we are not really... Well, we do have some money left, I think, so yeah, we're gonna be fine with that. Right, I think that's everyone, right? Saxony, yeah, all of these states are now incorporated. So that's good. Yeah, let's continue on that basis and see what else we can do. We are gonna build up these motor factories down here. In Bavaria, though, the other big issue that we're currently having is explosives, chemical industry. So let's start building a good number of these, and we're going to use the people who are available here for that. And I think they are around 5,000 per factory here, and we need a lot of these guys. So I think I want to build at least 25 chemical plants. That's based on the number of explosives that are currently missing. So we are producing 2,000. We really need 5,000 because we have so many mines and stuff. So yeah. That is going to fill our building tree here for a long while, I think. Actually, do we need more infrastructure here? I think we will, probably. So let's build that up and let's actually prioritize that. I'm guessing we should check for Baden too. You've got a little bit there, but you know what? Let's build that up a little bit more. The next thing I want to build is... I want to get a couple of universities going here. And I'm actually going to prioritize these guys. Simply because I want people to be able to switch between jobs a little bit more easily, and I think that's going to be a brilliant idea. It shouldn't take too long, and that is going to be okay. We are annexing oligarchy currently, which hopefully is going to help us out too. Yes, some people want presidential republic, but the chance really is really low because that's only the trade unions, and it would just screw with everyone else. So, that being said, I think that's already pretty good. I do also want to set up a couple of trade routes, and I've been thinking about that off camera. So, let's look at the ones that are useful. And I think we can see that on the market here, right? So, we could try to get a couple of things into our market, but I'm a little bit more concerned about getting stuff out of our market. For example here, ammunition. We're currently having a lot of ammunition because we've got all of these factories that we need once things do start to be a little bit more aggressive. So I think it would make sense to start exporting some ammo. We've got about 1,000 left over. So let's see where we could push that. And I was thinking the American market, but no, France. France is what I was thinking. We can sell a lot to them, which is great. The productivity isn't brilliant, but it's not that bad either. 15 is okay-ish. It's not using any clippers or convoys. But, more importantly, the French would then be dependent on our ammunition supply. And if they were ever to go to war with us again, they would very suddenly, very likely find themselves missing out on a lot of ammunition. So I think it's actually a good strategic thing to try to push our stuff onto them. and maybe eliminate them as one of our competitors here. So the same actually I think goes for, was it artillery? It's always a little bit annoying that you don't actually see the surplus or whatever here, but yeah, we've got 1,000 of that. Artillery is around 172. So let's check on that, and I guess I want to sort by productivity here. We could export that to Spain, which probably makes a little bit more sense. Okay, let's put that to Spain, and then small arms I think is also something that we have a little bit too much of. And again, I think the French are pretty brilliant. High productivity here, actually super high amount, and due to the same reasons, it makes sense to push some onto them. The other issue is, of course, as always, fertilizer. Fertilizer is a big problem here. If we sort by productivity, let's go for the Americans. It is going to free up our chemical industry a little bit. And yes, it does require some convoys, but I think we're going to be alright with that. That's okay. And then we do need some import. And for that, we are missing currently silk, which I want to import from China. I'm not sure whether we can do that already. And I'm guessing the answer is no. Yeah, productivity here is the highest. It's a decent amount. All of this is really not that much. Britain, yeah, that'd be nice, but let's wait for China. I think we have established that I have an interest in that region. Yeah. The other thing is we will need more sugar, which we can also get from there, and we will need some dyes, which I think Peru and Mexico are great places to get that. You know what? We are also... Yeah, I think the Americans are interested in us, so that works for me. I don't think we need interest in the Baltics, but let's have some interest in the United States. There we go. Perfect. That should get us going. We've got a couple of things here that are being activated and deactivated. Job creators by the industrialists is, of course, brilliant, because that means we're going to get a little bit more money. Although we are losing a lot of money, and we're about to lose much more as the investment pool is drying up here. And that is probably next month going to mean that we're in huge deficits here. But you know what? I think that's going to be okay. Right, electricity should solve itself, hopefully, if you guys here were to hire a couple of more people. I know it's tough to hire people in Brandenburg, but we've got 5,000 unemployed. Arms industry is still running a deficit. But yeah. Okay, engine industry is being built up now. That's brilliant to see. We've got all of these other things going. People are starting to be hired. Yes, we have a huge deficit here from our bureaucracy. But you know what? That's only gonna last two years. So that's gonna be alright. I guess we can go a little bit faster here. And see about that. Now, there are some problems here with you guys, specifically with the trade unions. The rural folks we are trying to suppress, so they should become irrelevant soon. But the trade unions we really want to get on our side a little bit more. And I think one of the issues with the trade leaders, with the trade unions, is their leader. Because she's a vanguardist, and she is pretty much opposed to everything we could sort of think about as good stuff. So that's really not great. So labs market access is a little bit too low, and I'm guessing that's due to your missing railways. So let's do that. We've got a new air. We've got our power plants done, so that's good. You guys are now producing enough? Yes, you are. Perfect. We don't have an imbalance here anymore. At least not a big one. Stable supply of power. What do we want to get? More building throughput, but only for 5 years. Or steam turbine. I think I prefer this one, because it's simply going to be more sustainable and going to give us a better view of the market. An affair. 90% chance of nothing. And this dude gets syphilis. While the armed forces don't like us as much. Now, I'm not too concerned about the armed forces right at this moment. Or they just like us more. Honestly, I don't think it matters too much. Who are you? Interest Group Junkers. Expert Artillery Commander. More offense? I actually like you. Okay, let's try to keep him around. Yes, again, they don't like us as much, but that's okay. Right, steel railway cars unlocked. Brilliant. That means we can get more of that. I think we have some of that in Hesse enabled, so let's see what that does. If we were to switch that, no, you've got actually cargo prioritization. Where do we have passenger railways? Not here either. Was it in Saxony? I'm sure I had it somewhere, and I don't want to. Do we really have it nowhere? Because we have got a pretty big deficit of transportation. Okay, just for the sake of curiosity, what happens if I do change to here? 35 less infrastructure? Yeah, okay, so infrastructure is going to be the same, but it will mean more transportation at the cost of exchanging wood for steel and some other jobs down there. It means actually a lot more people are going to work in that, but we are going to get more transportation, and transportation is kind of useful. So let's see where we would have passenger railways. Westphalia. Okay, you guys, you switch that around, you're not going to get less infrastructure, but more transportation. Good. Rhineland. Same. It means we will need more people working on this, and we have not really enough people working on that in these places anyway. But you know what? That's just the way it is. I think one of the things that I also wanted to do is try to go through some of these places and disable some of these things here that are maybe a little bit too small to be really sustainable. Like, for example, these textile mills here, only level 1. It just doesn't make sense in my mind to have a lot of these level 1 industries kicking around. Except for stuff like Arts Academy, that's not really that big anyway. Steel mills, yeah, we can keep it around, but I'd really, really prefer to expand really suitable industries. For now, not too important anyway, because we're still building up a lot of these things, and it's taking a while for them to really get going. But especially the textile mills here, I think we can disable them as long as we're waiting for stuff to kick in really. But that being said, I think now the game should know that we're actually interested in China, and that means we can indeed start to import silk, even though it's much less than I would have preferred to. But there we go. And I also wanted to import more sugar, because we are using that at a pretty high rate. And yeah, you can see that has an immense productivity here that we can certainly try to use. How about dyes? Always a bit difficult to find, I find. That it's just this list. It's really not. I don't like it. Okay, so let's try to get some from Mexico, and maybe from Peru too. And then let's look at how our markets are looking. So big deficit here of luxury clothing, tea, explosives. Yes, we know that. We're working on that. It's certainly going to be built up there. Mostly consumer goods, some porcelain, some power, and still some clothing. So if we were, for example, to go to Hesse and switch your production method here, you'd be losing a lot of money because we really don't have enough silk. Yeah, okay. If we go to Saxony and check our glassworks factories here, and if we were to go to Bone China, we'd be using more dyes, but porcelain would be a lot more available. Let's go for it anyway. Yes, it does tell us that it's too much, but since we do have the import routes, I think we can try to risk it and go for that over time. Motor industries are being built up there. Military goods are expensive. Ironclads, why is that? I think that should be over here. Well, people aren't working here. Why? Are you just lazy or non-existent? You're non-existent. Right, what we can get rid of then is the rye farms. I really don't think they're that productive. Get a couple more people into the shipyards, and thereby start saving us some money. That would be brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. There are a lot of states in turmoil. I'm going to pretty much ignore that for now. What I shouldn't ignore, though, is colonial growth. Well, we'll see. Trade routes need convoys. Okay, we don't have enough convoys anymore. I think we need more ports, right? Ports are kind of a weird thing because they're not really that useful? Okay, Elba, I think, you know what? This is traditionally the port to Germany. It's got Hamburg in it. So we are going to build that up. How many convoys do we need? It doesn't tell us. Yeah, I know, you know, I'm broken record, but the AI's, not the AI, the UI, sometimes is sadly lacking. I would like to know. Why can you not see that under trade? Can you see that under trade over here? No. No. Oh no, we can't see it over here. Never mind, I'm just blind. Yeah, so it looks actually okay, though. 300? Why? Can't export more meat. We have built up our not subsistence farm, livestock ranches. They're mostly using power at this point, so they should be doing okay-ish. Great! We got the rotary revolve engine. That's nice because it means we can free up people to work. That means we're going to require a lot more coal. Coal is something that we are producing anyway, but not enough of. And tools. That's okay. What else can we research? I do want to continue on the production line. It's currently discounted and such. Coal-fired power plants would be pretty nifty. I would like that. Just make them a little bit better. Chemical fertilizers. Now, I don't think we need more fertilizers, but we can certainly use more fertilizers. But the grain, on the other hand, oh, we are producing not enough grain. Well, that's super interesting then. Threshers for more people being freed up to work. Now, that's again interesting. On the other hand, I would like to get to technical stuff like not bicycle stuff, synthetic plants down here. That's hugely interesting because it will allow us to plan out our economy a little bit better and free up or identify places where we can build up synthetics so that we can produce dye instead of exporting and importing it. Yeah, I know it looks like we have enough now, but let's start going down that route. And I think that's a good idea. Where else would we be using dyes? So we are producing porcelain now. I think we could be using dyes in some other things. It was not fabric. It's not luxury goods, is it? I don't remember. Oh well, it will come back to me at some point. Okay, anyway, you guys seem to be doing fine-ish. Services still a big deficit. And we've got oligarchy. It means we have even less authority than before. Not great. But on the other hand, capitalists are going to become a little bit more powerful. Good, good. That's okay. We want to have them be nice and strong. That's good. And Junkers dislike that. Yeah, but they're going to become irrelevant pretty soon too. So that's nice. And we have got our government going. Okay, what else can we be doing then over here now? Again, I would like to get the trade unions a little bit more on board. A, to get the construction efficiency up, but also to get more industries throughput and get a better workforce ratio. So they would be brilliant. Except you don't have a lot of stuff that I would really like to enact. Peasant levies, no way. National militia? No, that's also army model. No. We're going to stick with that. Economic system, command economy, no way. Protectionism is something that I would like. Industrialists would not like that, but that's okay. Rural folk would like that, but that's not really important. Consumption-based taxation, yeah-ish. That's actually okay. Armed forces really hate that. Land-based taxation, everyone hates that. Proportional taxation, Junkers hate it. Industrialists don't like it. Yeah, so we could think about tax. Public health insurance. Industrialists probably not gonna like that, and by a lot. So that's probably no for now. Right of assembly. Now that's interesting. Evangelical Church and Junkers, I don't really care about these guys anymore. Petite bourgeoisie, they're not the most relevant, and armed forces right now are also not the most relevant. So right of assembly is a good one. Workers' protection and such seems to have low support overall. We could go for poor laws. That's something that both the industrialists and the trade unions would like. On the other hand, I think, you know what, with the taxation stuff, we identified areas where the industrialists are not so opposed that they would outrightly hate that. So I think I'm fine with that. We also could still think about stuff like this. Trade unions would love it. Who hates that? Radicalize the Junkers. Radicalize the Evangelical Church. And petite bourgeoisie is really going to hate it. Armed forces is actually going to like this. That's interesting. But again, radicalized Junkers and super radicalized Junkers at that. Although they just might become irrelevant soon. As the Evangelical Church is already. And petite bourgeoisie, it's not going to make them radical. Interesting choices there. How about taxation? So proportional taxation, we would be getting a lot more than we're currently getting. Graduated taxation, I think everyone hates that, basically, except for the industrialists really dislike it. And would actually radicalize the Junkers. This one actually seems fine. The only problem is that only the trade unions like it. And they just don't have enough clout. But proportional taxation is a good one. Right of assembly. Now people do like that a little bit more, so that's good. Except everyone else hates it. Doesn't matter too much. Authority goes down a little bit. And we have a little bit less control over what is effectively really happening. Poor laws, on the other hand, both of you guys like that. That's an easy one to enact. National Guard, I think honestly something like Secret Police is a little bit better. Because we don't need the conscription rate. All of these are pretty good. But don't help us at the moment. Protectionism, again, the industrialists, they dislike it, but it's not that bad. And it actually gives us a little bit more control too. And the rural folk don't hate it either. Let's go with right of assembly. I like that. It's in sync. We would be doing something good, I think. Yeah. So first stuff is reform our government. Let's actually get rid of these two guys. Trade unions need to come in. No, wait a minute. We should actually double check that. Right. So laws. Right of assembly, intelligentsia, and trade unions. Okay, kick you guys out. Intelligentsia is a little bit larger, so let's get you in. And legitimacy is... I think we should include the armed forces. That's 50%. Alternatively, we can get the trade unions in and then 9%. So no. And 12% is much worse than 51, so I think this is a good choice. Let's go with that. And then we can ask for censorship to go to rights of assembly. We could even go to protected speech, which everyone would like a little bit more, but then you guys would hate it a lot more, so yeah, there we go. Okay, that's fine. Good. We could also have cared about these things, right? Presidential Republic. Maybe it's not the worst. Intelligentsia, trade unions, and armed forces. At the cost of the Junkers. And the petite bourgeoisie. No. If it was only the Junkers, I think I'd be much more open to it. But not like that, no. Okay, we are getting our chemical plants rolling here. That's nice to see. First ones are being established. Still a lot of them. Oh, and we should take into account that we probably need a lot more people to work in some places. And it's a shame that there's no button that I could think about pressing that would show me where too few people are working at the moment, or where we have too few people available. Evidently, down here it seems like we don't have too few. Yeah, motor industries, you guys should be insanely profitable. So if we were to go to this stuff here, 10,000 more people. Yes, we are burning more coal. But we need much fewer people and the productivity should go up. Why is the productivity so bad? A lot of this stuff is pretty expensive, especially coal. If coal is so expensive, we probably need to build a little bit more. As we kind of always do, coal is such an evergreen for this economy. So, yeah, Silesia, you've got a surprising amount of peasants right now. So let's build another 30 coal factories, coal mines, I guess, in over here. Where are we? How much infrastructure do we have? No, not government stuff. This one over here. Yeah, that should be fine, I'm thinking. Iron mines are surprisingly not that efficient right now. But I think that should recover. Yeah, see, it's because we didn't use all of our construction capacity. Low market access, Baden. Didn't I ask you to build another rail line? Let's build another, and at highest priority, of course. Freight routes need convoys again. So Elba, I know you're building one, but let's be a little bit more safe here and build another port. Railways being built. Coal mines being built, that's good. Market prices. Surprisingly enough, this stuff. I think in Anhalt we had an arts academy. Let's build another one here. You know what? Let's not do it because we don't have enough people here. But in Württemberg, I think you had another arts factory, arts academy, arts factory. So let's continue building that up. Logging camps. Surprisingly, we are using a lot of that. Aren't we importing that too? I thought we were. Wood. Yeah, we are importing a lot. And it seems like we have a huge imbalance here. Where's that coming from? Is that pop consumption that is going down? But yeah, 5,000. Russia is pretty expensive though, pretty useful though. That would be too much. But you know what? We're going to cancel this anyway, because I think if we look at the rural buildings, we still have the ability to go to our wooden logging camps and start using electric wooden stuff. It means more machinists and engineers at the cost of laborers. That's not a big change. A lot more electricity that would be used, and a lot more tools that would be used, but also a lot more wood. And so much more wood actually that we don't really want to do that this way. But let's actually look at some of these places here. I think this is going to be a much more useful change here. Yeah, that's actually nice. I kind of like that. Still, we don't have enough power, so that's an issue. Petite bourgeoisie or employment discrimination? Ooh, no. We do not want to discriminate. And I thought Hannover would be a nice place to build up a little bit more power plants. There we go. Let's build 5 of these guys. Infrastructure usage will be fine. And we're going to be producing what? Like 20? Should be alright, I think. Chemical plants being done down here. You are starting to hire people. We definitely need to check on you that you're not producing too many fertilizers though. Yeah, because we're still running a surplus. But explosives, still super expensive. Sulfur, we need more of that. Yeah. Let's start producing or mining more sulfur in Saxony, I'm guessing. Yeah, why not Saxony? Saxony, you don't have that many people who are that employed, so let's start looking at some of these factories here and see whether we can build more rotary revolves. Free up some people to do work to go and work in other areas. So we're going to just vaguely check where we have very few people down here. Seems to be the case over here. Chemical plants, I think you guys don't have that. I think steel mills don't. Yeah, steel mills do actually have that. So that would free up 7,000 people. Let's do it. I think steel, yeah, we are seeing a shortage anyway. So how many people are working per level here? Around a little bit more than 2,000, 2,500, let's call it. And we just built up, you know what, I think 5 more steel factories in Westphalia are going to be a good investment. Good. Rubber stuff done. Let's immediately go into aniline for the synthetics. It's going to take a year. All of the other stuff would still be useful. Electric industry is also nice, but for that you actually need rubber. And we just sort of discovered rubber. Electric sewing mills, brilliant, but we need to slowly build it up. So I think not. Automobile production, kind of useful, kind of funny. But yeah, I honestly think the best choice here is going to be to... Yeah, well, all of these are tempting. But you know what? Let's go for aniline. That's what we set out to do. We can take a brief look here at our colonies. We have got a couple of them rolling for now. We've got very few people here, but I thought at least that we could be producing stuff down here. German South Cameroon, there we go. You guys have a lot of that going. No, but nothing else. And down here in Celebes, we've got tobacco plantations, but I was thinking that we could build rubber plantations here. Seems like that's not the case. We maybe need to discover it. Ultimately, I think this region, some colonial expansion down here would be brilliant. But we need to be slightly careful about our infamy here. We are considered reputable. We can go for some things. But we need to be at least very careful about doing that. That being said, we are running at the 32 minutes mark. So I think this is a good place to put in a cut. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do let me know what you think about our economy, where we should be investing. And I hope to see you around next time. Bye-bye.